welcome back to the garage, everyone. All right, well, it seems the rattle that I've been hearing at the red light has been getting worse and worse and worse over the last few weeks, and I've been slowly trying to figure out where it was coming from, and I think I have found the culprit. And it appears to be coming from inside the fuel tank, unfortunately. So that means that's our task for this weekend. What I'm going to do next is gather up a small hand pump, and I'll evacuate as much gasoline as I can out of the fuel tank, and then I'll put it in another car, I guess. Not a diesel, mind you. And then we'll go ahead and get the transmission jack out. We'll set it up here. We'll disconnect all our fuel lines, take these straps loose, and we'll go ahead and pull this tank down and see if we can't figure out what's going on. All right, we're back. So the next thing I'm going to do is disconnect the fuel lines on the back side of the tank. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. Okay. I replaced these fuel lines when I bought the car back in 2016. And they all still look good. I think that I used hose that was compatible with, modern fuels. I don't see any cracking or anything. If I pull them off and they look questionable, I'll go ahead and change them out. But I don't see anything wrong with these. So pretty mundane. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect these fuel lines and cap them off. And then we'll take a look at loosening the straps and pulling the tank down. All right, change of plans. There's no sense in fighting that battle. That's just stupid. Uh-oh, that was stupid. Okay, luckily that calmed down a little bit. Had a minor panic. Never fear. I am simply not going to fight that battle. The quarters are too close up in here. It's hard to film. It's a real pain, to be honest with you. So let me go ahead and clip the rest of these lines off, and then we'll go ahead and drop this tank down. All right, we got the fuel lines cut and capped, and we're going to go ahead and get our transmission jack in place. All right, let's go ahead and loosen our straps. 2 bolts, 9/16. Whoopsie. Oh yeah. Okay, never mind. Got to have a breaker bar. All right, let me fight this battle for a few minutes, and I'll be right back. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get these tank strap bolts off. They're pretty rusty, so I'm just gonna break out the impact and see what happens. If it breaks off, so well. All right, it's coming loose. Probably gonna have to replace those bolts. I was thinking they were put into a stationary set screw, but apparently not. Seems to be a nut up there. All right, slowly but surely. All right, let me fight this battle. I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, that's one tank strap removed with just a tad bit of persuasion required. But it is 52 years old, so all right, let's see if we can get the other one loose. All right. Gonna put a few safety straps up here, and be safe. I don't know, I got probably 6 or 7 gallons of gas in there. I'll use a pump and extract it after I get the sitting unit cap off. So all right, we're going to go about this in a very slow, very methodical way, and it will be extremely boring. I guess we'll, speed up the video or something. And looking at all this stuff up in here, this will be good anyway. Once we get the tank down, I'll probably do a little rust work, little rust cleanup. Not a whole lot, because this is mechanical work. Back here, behind the bumper. There's a lot of rust on the cross members, but that'll be for a later date. I'll have to take the bumper off to get to all that and clean it up. All right, let's see what we can do here. Going down. Careful. There we go. Let's just give that a feel. You don't have to scare me to death, okay? I just want to see how heavy it is. It's not too bad, said the man who's letting the transmission jack do all the work. All right, well, let's go ahead and get it on down. All right, this one wire here goes to the back. I guess it goes to the backup light. Apparently getting power off the tank, where the tank lead is, so I need to remove that first. So because I got to move the tank back that way to clear the axle, and the filler neck is up there. So anyway, got geometry I'm working with here. Unless that wire could be disconnected up here, and I don't really see an easy way to do that. Seems like it might be easier to disconnect it from the top of the tank by feel, clearly. So this is going to take me about 3 hours. I'll be back shortly. All right, we got that wire disconnected now, so that's cool. Let's move this back that way a little bit. Tell you what, for such a big car, they crammed some of this stuff in there, that's for sure. All right, we got the tank down, and that did not entail any sort of buffoonery or ropes or block and tackle and straps and that's all kinds of crazy nonsense. With 6 or 7 gallons of gasoline in there, I'm sure you can if you tilt it just a little bit that way, all the gas goes that way, and then now basically you have all the way there, and then it wants to slide down that way. And then anyway, so you have to be very careful if you're dropping, or not dropping rather, lowering a fuel tank with a lot of gasoline in it. So there we are. Let's go ahead and take a look at the underside, and look at that. Looks brand new, doesn't it? At least that part does. Got some rust in this area. That's for a later date. We got some rust in this area back here. We'll probably take a wire brush on this and some of that spray-on Permatex rust stop. I think that'll be good to go. You can see the bottom of the trunk there. It looks brand new. That's pretty cool. Let's see, some rust over there too. So, wire wheel and Permatex spray-on rust stop, I think, is the order of the day. So here's the top of the tank, and it's not rusted, and for the most part, except for, a few spots. But let's take a look at this old tank. Let's see, trademark long turns. Looks like March the 9th of 1971. And I got a little water on that. Let's see what that says. Irwin Works, I guess. Irwin Works. United States Steel. That's pretty cool. Here we go, United States Steel, USS. So I guess we know who made the tank. How about that? So why did we lower this tank? Well, it's not supposed to sound like that. It's supposed to go dong, 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 I don't know why that's rattling like that. I don't know if the steel construction inside the tank is let loose or what. That's just really bizarre. It looks like the filler neck, it comes right here. There's a little indentation for it. But I think what I'm going to do now is clean this up and get this fuel sender out of here, because, while we're at it, we might as well change this out. And when we pull that out, we may find out, what's going on with our rattle. All right, that cleaned up a little bit there. Got a little super clean after it. And I was kind of expecting to see a locking ring, but, you know, that's just kind of what I was expecting to see. But, you know, when you're dealing with a car from, you know, hell, it's 52 years old now, so some of the things that got set as a precedent later on in the automotive industry, well, they just weren't back then. So consequently, in 1971, General Motors had not made the decision to use the square key as only for ignition. In 71, they were using the square key for the ignition and the door locks, and the round key was for the trunk. I can't recall if the square key or the round key fits the glove box in this car. No, anyway, no matter. The point is, you know, it was different, right? So, let's see. Put those right there. And what do we got? Oh, well, that was remarkably straightforward and simple. And the sending unit looks pretty good. Of course, the screen is deteriorated and falling apart now that I'm pulling it out of the tank. So, you know, needed to be done anyway. And there's our float mechanism. So that looks pretty good, actually. So I needed to get this out of here before I ordered one. I pulled one up on O'Reilly, and there was like a bunch of them, and I didn't, well, it's like, well, which one do I get? Anyway, I don't know. Let's see, this has got some writing on it. What does that say? Well, it's the impedance. Looks like 90 ohms. All right, there you go. All right, so let me get on the old Chatterbox computer doohickey thing and order up one of these. I'm not sure if the parts house is going to have it. This may take a few days to come in. Oh, I don't know. I might get lucky. Let's just see what happens. Looks like the old red VW Golf TDI is going to see a new home today, and the new owner is pretty happy about his purchase, I think. I think he needs a larger exhaust on his pickup truck, however. After 15 years and 265,000 miles, our little 1.9 diesel finally bit the dust. Sad to say. The injection pump failed on it and flooded the crankcase with diesel fuel and ruined the turbocharger. But the rest of the car is just fine because, as you've seen in previous videos, everything else underneath is good to go. And I think the previous owner will have an easy time finding a motor, putting a new engine in the car, and having a nice daily driver for his family as well. All right, we're back inside here. I had one of those little cameras you snake up inside stuff, you know, the long wand on it and everything. And it's a little hard to film, you know, with one hand holding that thing and one hand holding the camera and then another hand, I don't know. It just wouldn't work. So quiet. Well, anyway, I had a camera up inside the tank earlier, and just wanted to see, you know, what was going on with this thing. And, you know, no, that's unacceptable. Not going to happen. It rattles. So with the camera, I was able to see the baffle, and that baffle pretty much starts. Let's see. Here's the hole, and the baffle starts about right here. The filler neck comes through the baffle and about right here, and there are some flanges of metal surrounding it on the baffle. I think those flanges of metal, they're meant to position it and hold it still, but I think it's wobbling around, it's rattling. Also, there could be some rattles on the baffle. There's a lot over here. So if I hit it here, I don't know, it's about the same. I believe this baffle has basically just let loose inside the tank. I was looking at a gentleman's video from a modern Mercedes, and he had a similar issue, and he was using magnets. He would put magnets up inside there to, I guess, to tighten up the grip between the baffle and the edge of the tank. Now, apparently it works for him. Now, I don't know about this one. I don't know if that can be done with this tank or not. But we've got a radiator shop here in town. They might do gas tanks too. I really don't know. But on Monday, today is Saturday. On Monday, I'm going to make a few phone calls here and there and see if I can find a shop that specializes in cleaning out gas tanks. Basically, this one doesn't need to be cleaned. The inside of it looks fantastic. The fuel is clean and there's no rust in it. It looks brand new inside. That daggum thing just rattles. So I'm going to ask them what they would recommend. And in my brain, I'm thinking, well, maybe they can clean it out and then maybe put some sort of sealant inside it that tightens up the connection between the baffle and the outside skin of the tank. I have no idea if that's a thing, if that can be done, but we are going to find out. If not, we may be replacing this fuel tank because I'm simply not going to put up with that. But regardless, we have a new fuel level sending unit on order. I found one on eBay, and that gentleman, that seller, also has an exact replica gas tank for this car as well. But this will take about a week to come in the mail. So what are we going to do in the meantime? In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and pull this drive shaft once again. And my goal is to replace all of the U-joints and the interconnecting bits and pieces between the U-joints associated with the double cardan joint. There's a ball and a seat and a spring in there, and we'll show you what that's going to look like. Oh yeah, by the way, we have a new parts department here in the garage. I got a hankering for some old school classic metal storage bins, and there was an old garage here locally selling off some stuff, and they had this for sale. It was really cheap, and it's good stuff, made in Illinois, made in USA, back in the dark ages, I guess. And made myself some labels here, and went ahead and started loading it up with car parts and various other things. So we got the Mercedes axle clamps and diesel injector nozzles and all sorts of good stuff. We got clips and cotter pins and banjo clamps, O-rings and grommets. Need an O-ring for a pinion on a Cadillac. We got bulbs, fuses, and wire connectors, plain old electrical wire, tie wraps, vacuum hose, and I've got a lot more space in there, so I'm going to fill this up with some other stuff as well. But I kind of dig in this. I made this little mount here with a 45-degree connected to the stud wall, basically hovering over the top of the fridge there. Got an old PC, was handed down to me, and I just wiped it clean. I had Windows 7 on it or something. I just wiped it clean, and I dumped a copy of Mint Linux onto it. And a nice shop PC, once again. I was missing that for quite some time. And these two rows up here are clearly, well, they're just for decoration. But this row here is sort of, you know, for active parts, things that are going on right here, right now in the shop. And I just tacked a couple of pieces of wood up there just to make some very basic shelves. And went down to Hobo Freight and got some bins. And we got all of our nuts and bolts and stuff organized now by size, 3/8 by 24 hex nut, for example. The parts department at the garage is now open. That being said, let's take a look at the ball seat kits for the drive shaft. Now I have 4 universal joints, and these are Spicer, made in the USA. Now these are the heavy duty kind. These are non-greasable. Come on out of there. There we go. Right, now you can just slip these off of here when you do the installation, and you just slip them back on. And then this comes with inside. These rings are inside, so these will, the ring doesn't fit on the outside like most universal joints. These rings will fit on the inside. So you'll notice up here on this double cardan, that's the way it is. That's the way it was done from the factory. So I stuck with that, clearly. But I got to looking around on the on YouTube. I was looking for recommendations on universal joints, and the general consensus was that the the non-greasable ones are the heavy-duty ones, I guess, because there's no, there's nothing inside here. There's just a piece of steel. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to use heavy-duty, non-greasable universal joints in our double cardan drive shaft rebuild, which is what I'm going to work on next while I wait on the new fuel tank sending unit to arrive in the mail. And the other part of this is the ball seat kit, sealing kit. And up in between the two universal joints, the bits and pieces that interact between those two in that double cardan joint, there's a ball up in there of sorts. Have I ever rebuilt one of these? I have never done that. So we have a little seal here, it looks like, and we have a couple of fairly stiff springs, and it looks like a shim or a washer, and it looks like, let's just open this up. Yeah, it looks like a keeper. Got 3 pieces, I guess. Let's see. How does that go together? How does this work? I have no idea. Yeah. I guess it works like that. The ball goes in there. And I don't know, the spring probably goes up there like that, and this, another spring on the other side, and there's a seal to keep some grease in. I have no idea. I'll just need to tear into it and figure it out. I've never done it before, so it should be actually good fun. As long as I don't lose all the parts. Holy cow, look at that. All right, so that's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to wait for parts to come in, and in the meantime, in our next video, we're going to completely rebuild a double cardan on both ends drive shaft in an old Cadillac, so stay tuned for that. All right, folks, that's all for now. I appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and if you'd like to be notified whenever I release a new video, don't forget to click that little bell down below. You guys have a good one, and remember to enjoy driving, maintaining, servicing, and simply taking care of your classic Cadillac.